DJ,
sunshine.
listen. It is not bikini season. You need to just...
I didn't say that. I just need heat
chill.
and sunshine. I really love Linda.
We need a Linda. We need to hire a Linda to help us with stuff because she does not take any crap.
No, I love it too.
Coffee chat. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel and DJ from Arms Family Homestead, and I was looking back on... I'm always looking at analytics and studying things on YouTube and all that stuff of our channel, and years ago, I say years ago, it's been a couple, maybe close. How long have you had your YouTube channel? 2 years, 3 years?
It'll be 3 in May, I think.
Before DJ started the Do Your Best YouTube channel, we started it with we called it a podcast on the Arms Family Homestead channel. It is definitely not a podcast. It never was a podcast. To be a podcast, you're supposed to have a big microphone and headphones and soundboard and all that stuff. It was really just us sitting in our living room on an ottoman talking. And that's what we used as a prelude to DJ's channel to get her more involved on the Arms Family Homestead channel and lead into her own channel. I will say it was a good plan.
It was, but I wasn't sure I was going to do it.
But it worked. DJ has her own channel, and it was a way to shift an audience. Anyways, I set all that up, and on YouTube, you can actually have a playlist that is a podcast, and it kind of keeps things separated. And it always pops up on my analytics, and that old podcast series of videos, whatever you want to call it, still consistently gets quite a few views. Like, I think there's 10 videos in the playlist, and it gets about anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 views a month. And we just quit doing that. But I thought we'd sit down today and just chat. I don't know. If I can find something to get DJ to cry about, it'll get a lot of views because I can get a thumbnail of tears rolling down her face.
Oh my gosh. They won't recognize me.
I know.
Straight hair.
DJ looks different.
I do. I look way different with straight hair.
This is our alter ego, BJ.
Oh my gosh. There's only one person that calls me that.
We shall not talk about him.
Yeah.
So we're just going to sit down and chat. And, wintertime's here. Things change seasonally with our channel, with every channel. And wintertime is not as much fun outside, I don't feel like.
It's not as much fun at all. At all.
It gets dark, about 30 minutes after breakfast. And it's very frustrating for me. So I don't know, back when we started the little podcast idea, it was there's some pretty deep topics, some pretty deep subjects. We talked about the story of Weston, how Weston came about because he's older than our marriage. We talked about when we had the UTV side-by-side accident. We talked about basically just an open public discussion of our private life, in a sense. I don't know. It was fun. It was neat. And it was a great way for folks to kind of get to see a little bit different side of us other than just, hunting and fishing and gardening and animals, livestock and equipment and all that. So, I don't know. What are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. We haven't had anything really life-changing or... I feel like we've kind of shared everything.
I know. That's what I love about our channel, though. When I first started YouTube, everyone said find one specific niche, one specific topic, and stay in your lane. And that was like the worst advice I could have ever had. There is no way I would be able to stay on YouTube consistently for the last 10 years just doing fishing videos.
Or gardening.
Or just gardening videos. Nothing against folks that do. I know a lot of folks that are that type of channel. I mean, Luke from MI Gardener just you know, he's over 1 million subscriber channel. We've been friends with Luke since, gosh,
Forever.
since we started.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Luke a while back, and he's, you know, he's a gardening channel that he sells seeds, and he's always stayed in that lane, teaching people how to grow food. And the other day I was talking to him because he just recently bought a farm. He bought some land. It's been a dream of his for probably a decade or longer to buy some farmland so that he can expand on what he does. And he started doing some videos that were like this much outside of his normal lane. So normally he's talking about starting seeds, growing different varieties of crops. They're all in a small backyard garden in his raised beds or in a greenhouse. So he goes out and buys some land that will be 100% a farm where he's producing food and growing crops. But he does a few videos about building a fence around this property and does a few different things, and his audience got upset with him. They were like, I'm unsubscribing. That's not what I came to your channel for. And I'm like, wait a minute. That is so not fair. Especially in that situation, his channel has been growing food, starting seeds, and he buys land to expand on that, and people get upset. So even when you do stay in your lane, people seem to get upset. But
everyone has an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
Even things that don't pertain to them.
You know, and that's fine, but I could never be one of those channels that was just a hunting channel, just a gardening channel. And you guys know we do a little bit of everything, and seasons come and go. Seasons of your life come and go. Seasons of the year come and go. And right now, you know, as you have seen in the last 2 months, we're in full swing with deer season. I mean, we've harvested more deer this year than ever, done more hunting videos than we ever have. And not everyone enjoys hunting content. I totally understand that. But overall, when you look at the channel growth over the years, those videos perform well, do well. And that tells me a majority of the audience does like that. So there's things that I'm always trying that sometimes they work really well and sometimes they don't work so well. But you don't know until you try. And that's kind of been my strategy with producing content is Jack Motley, a guy that I'm friends with in Pensacola. I hadn't talked to him in forever, but he was kind of one of the channels that I was following coming up through YouTube. We're a lot bigger channel than his now. It's called Jack Motley. He was a kayak fisherman. Oddly enough, a saltwater kayak fisherman was one of my inspirations to make more videos.
Well, he was in our favorite place, so that helped.
That helped. But he had a theory on YouTube even back then. This is 7-8 years ago. He was like, YouTube's like a big wall, and you just got balls of mud, and you just keep throwing mud at that wall until something sticks. And they may not all be the same. And I was like, that goes against everything else that every other YouTube expert's ever told me. And I was like, okay. So that was when I kind of expanded and did a lot of different things. But so our season right now is deer season and Christmas. Christmas time is the biggest time of the year, I feel like, for our business. Obviously, we sell t-shirts and hats and different things throughout the year, but Christmas is about 50% of our sales for the whole year. Would you agree?
Yes.
And once we get past Christmas, then that just falls off. Like we don't push products much in the late winter, early spring. We're not doing a bunch of merch stuff. We do 4 launches a year. Sometimes people start to grumble because they're like, all you ever talk about is selling me something. And I'm like, well, we do 4 major launches a year, and Christmas being the biggest, it just takes up a lot of content, really. And it's what we're doing. It's we want to bring you guys along on our journey, on our day-to-day life, our business journey, our spiritual journey, in a sense. Sometimes, not every video, but sometimes we do. And our family's journey. It's we're literally, there's no blueprint, I feel like, for what we're doing. When I left my career as a state trooper, I had no idea like what the next steps were going to be. And I don't want to say it's uncharted territory, because there's folks out there that have done it, but it's like every step is new for us.
Yeah. And this is crazy. 2025 will be your 5th year gone.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me. Like, how was that 5 years ago?
I don't know. It's weird to me that, like, I feel like Weston and Emily will always have a lot of memories of me in uniform and as a trooper. Houston will have pictures.
Yeah.
Like, he remembers some, but he doesn't remember the nights of getting out of bed at 2 a.m. and leaving and not coming home until 3 o'clock the next day.
The Christmas mornings, you know, when you came in. I remember one where it was like 4 a.m. You took a nap.
So that story, that night, Christmas Eve, I was supposed to work Christmas Eve, an evening shift, and then I turned around into a day shift on Christmas Day. Worst combination ever, because you miss Christmas Eve night and Christmas morning.
Yeah.
But as a trooper in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is really good about, as long as you respond to your calls, if there's something going on, you can go to ball games or you can go to kids' events at school or at home. And that night, Christmas Eve day, we had a massive cold front come in. It was raining, and about midday it turned to ice, and I got called into work early because people were running off the roads everywhere. Everybody was on the roads on Christmas Eve. As DJ and the kids are actually getting ready to leave to go down the road to Grandma's house to Christmas, Christmas dinner and all that, Emily fell, hit the coffee table. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that then? Was it Emily?
Well, she did do that, yeah. I don't remember if it was that night
it seemed
or
like
a
it
different
was,
year.
Seemed like it was that year. But anyways,
small.
So, they go off to Christmas at Grandma's house, and I get called into work. And I'm like, okay, well, it's like 1 o'clock. I was supposed to go to work at 3. And I didn't get home because Oklahoma doesn't deal with snowstorms. We had a massive snowstorm come in. And we had rain, then topped with ice, and then snow. And I didn't get home until about 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. So I left at 1. It was a total train wreck disaster. Oklahoma's not prepared for snow, so roads were horrible. And as they tried to plow it, it would just make a mountain on the side of the road. Some people would turn off the main highways. They'd get stuck, and then it would block all the other roads, and it was a disaster. Matter of fact, the National Guard came out that night because there were so many people sliding off the road on the interstate. We couldn't haul them all to safety. It was that cold. Like, the National Guard came out and helped us pick people up off the side of the road because they weren't crashing. They just couldn't see the road, and 2 feet off the road, and they were stuck in a snowdrift, and had hundreds of people. So I got home about 6 a.m., took my uniform shirt off, laid down on the couch, and was like, oh, Santa's already been here.
No. Well, I mean, Santa had been there, but the kids hadn't seen
The kids
Santa
didn't know it yet. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Santa's already been here. That's pretty cool.
He got out of that.
And then the kids got up, and, we had Christmas with our family for 30 or 45 minutes, and I had to go back to work.
Yeah.
On no sleep.
Yeah.
And, I don't think I got home till like 3 that day. I worked basically almost 24 hours. I came home for an hour or two, caught a nap, but it was just a disaster. But, 5 years ago, Houston won't have those memories of that kind of stuff the way that I feel like the older kids do. And it's weird to me even. Like it seems like a different life.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't imagine having to shave and go get in that car and go do that job right now.
Well, whenever I was getting my hair done, some of the ladies in there were talking about, going back to work opposed to working for yourself, going and working for someone else. And it was funny because she was like, I could never do that again. I could never go work for someone else after working for myself. And it is a game changer for sure.
Absolutely.
And then we just ended up talking about all that for 2 hours because it is literally life changing.
Absolutely. I never knew. I mean, I went from high school straight into college, and then while I was in college, I got accepted into the Oklahoma Highway Patrol Academy. My last summer, right after I graduated, I did an internship that was like college allowed me to do my academy as an internship. So I never really had anything else professionally than the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. It's working for the state, a job where if I wanted to go to a kid's ball game out of town, or if I wanted to have an event or go do something, I had to send in a letter requesting time off to my boss, and then they had the option of saying yes or no. I can't imagine going back to that after being self-employed for almost 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
It'd be incredibly difficult, and that's, I don't know. I did that for 14 years, and it was a great job, great career. Nothing against it. Nothing against anybody that works for somebody else. I will say this: being self-employed is so different, but I don't have days off. Like, we don't have a...
No, I feel like we're so much busier.
There's no designated work times. So even when we go out of town and we go to something, we have a computer and we work bits and pieces here and there. And like, I can remember as a trooper, there were times I would take a 2-week vacation, not go out of town for 2 weeks, but I'd take off work for 2 weeks or something. And it was like, even the days off, when you pull in the driveway and you were off work stopped for 2 or 3 days or 5 days. And I don't feel that is even possible now.
That's not how we roll now.
No.
Sometimes I feel like it's a problem, though, for me. Because, like, we went and stayed in the city the other night, and I, feel this need to check my work email. And I hate that, because I want to shut it off. But,
yeah, when you have a career, a job that you work for somebody else, it's easy to distinguish work from home life, or not, I won't say home life, work from off work.
Yes.
There's a definite line there, and when you're off work, you can just be off work. Now, I know some people are on call and all that stuff. I get it, but being self-employed has been the biggest game changer, I feel like, in our life. But also, I think we work more.
For sure. Yeah.
But it's different, because when you're self-employed, you have, as a trooper, as a guy that worked for the state, I knew no matter what I did, I knew my pay was going to be. If I worked my tail off, or if I was just a lazy slug, I got paid the same. And it's different being self-employed and whatever with YouTube content and all that stuff. But like the business side of what we've been doing, I feel like that's been like the coolest thing for us, is learning business. Like, it's not something I took in college. Right. I wish I would have had some business classes. I took policing in America in 1970 and law enforcement in today's world and ethics and all this class. So, I wish I'd had some business classes.
Yeah. The other day, it was just kind of, I had like a little moment. I have people in my life that don't plan things the way that I plan things.
Listen. DJ, you have no idea how punctual she is on her planning. Like, when we got home from our family vacation at the beach in May, she had already was planning to book a house for the next year. Like, she's that far out.
Rebook that house.
But it's that way with everything. Yeah. Trust me.
But here's the deal. It goes back to you being a trooper. I mean, really, like I was organized and stuff when I was younger, like teenager, all that. I did have a calendar and that kind of stuff. But your schedule required immense planning for any and everything that we did. And so doing that for 14 years, working around your work schedule, literally everything we did, is literally ingrained to me. And I also not that I'm not spontaneous ever, but I like knowing what's coming. I like being able to look.
She definitely does.
I don't like unknowns a lot.
That is a fact.
Well,
that is the perfect description of you. DJ likes to know what's coming. Like Christmas presents, hates it. Birthday presents, hates it.
For myself.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about
for other people.
Yeah,
yes.
DJ hates surprises.
Yeah, I don't do well with that.
She is fighting mad over it.
Yeah, it gives me much anxiety.
Yeah. So back on the business thing, I talked about the other day, I shared a little bit, I was talking about watching Roman Atwood. And Roman's been a huge, I don't want to say an inspiration. Like, I didn't watch Roman when he had his 10 million subscriber channel, and they're doing pranks and wild and crazy family vlog stuff. But Roman was kind of like a leader in that family vlog space way early. I mean, has tens of millions of subscribers across multiple channels, but he quit YouTube, quit posting for a long time, and then started a new channel with daily vlogs. But it's more like their day-to-day business life of what him and his wife and everybody are doing. And I can really, really, really relate to that channel tremendously, because that's a guy that I can see what he did and where he came from and what he, kind of came up through the ranks of YouTube doing, and now what he's doing. Like there is a future there, I guess. And we were watching a podcast the other day that someone else was interviewing Roman, and they were asking him all these questions about, all kinds of stuff about the history of his YouTube career. And he said, at the height of your family vlog channel, how much were you making in AdSense, ad revenue? And Roman said $500,000 a month.
I can't even wrap my brain around that.
But the crazy thing is, now I'm not saying I don't ever plan on being at that point, but I'm just saying he was making $500,000 a month in AdSense, but he followed that with saying anybody that's on any business platform, any public platform that has a company or a business, or any social media creator that's not making and selling merch is crazy. He said when they were doing really, really well on YouTube view-wise, their merch business was way bigger than the social media income. And they had like 30 employees working out of their shop. And he said one day they had like 30,000 orders.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And that what I'm saying is it's taught me a lot, because they don't have to be doing this. They don't have to. They don't even need to do anything, but he's out there sticking his neck out, showing people him and his wife running a laundromat business. Like there's no telling how much money they've made in their career, but they bought a laundromat and they're excited about pulling quarters out of a machine, and they've built this whole storyline around a laundromat. It's turned into its own like reality TV show. Like Laundromat Linda's a legend.
I really love Linda.
We need a Linda. We need to hire a Linda to help us with stuff, because she does not take any crap.
No, I love it too.
And
also, one of the questions, still business talk, but one of the questions that they asked Roman, or he asked Roman, was, what is the biggest check you ever wrote? And it was just...
what was your biggest purchase?
Like, and his answer was not what I was expecting, but it is the business side of things. And he said taxes.
And the man owns a helicopter.
Yes.
His biggest check he's ever written was for taxes.
Well, AdSense isn't taxed. It isn't pre-taxed.
No.
So
it's taxed.
Well, I mean, it's taxed. You got to take care of that. It's not pre-taxed. And so
same with this.
Yes.
All of our stuff,
Yeah.
pretty much everything we do now, we had to learn the tax side of things of doing on our own.
Yeah, that's when I also said, here, tax person, take this. Because I can't keep up with this.
Right.
And I know a lot about money and finances and accounting, and but still, it just is overwhelming, because there is a lot, especially when you involve other states. We sell to other states.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother.
There's so much there. It's so hard there's so many, we get emails all the time. So we try to do everything we can to stay legal, but we're trying to navigate this world of, okay, every state has its own threshold once you sell so many products or you sell so much in value. And then like the other day, we got an email. So we collect taxes in every state.
That requires it.
Yeah. But then like the other day, we got an email from a lady that said, hey, you charged me tax on my pecans, and my state does not charge tax on food products. And I'm like, I don't even know how you navigate that. I have no clue.
And it was literally like $1.
It wasn't much, but still, it's the concept of it. Like, I get it. I understand where she's coming from, but I don't know. And so we've got, we hire tax professionals and stuff. And that's what's so cool about being self-employed and having to learn all these things and figuring out, okay, we hit this point. Now we need to figure out we're going to have to hire somebody over to help us with our taxes. We're going to have to hire somebody to do these things. And it's crazy to think about that, but you need help. You get to a point where you need help.
Yes.
And I don't know, the business side of this, like, is so much fun to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's selling merch or figuring out new products to bring to market, like our tackle kit that we're doing with crappie magnet, trout magnet. I mean, it's just it's a neat thing to me. And that's where, like, talking about doing an Airbnb lake house thing, like, is it probably the best financial decision we could make? I don't know. I think it's a good financial decision, but the income off the Airbnb isn't. I mean, are there other things that we could do that would make more? Yeah, I think so. I mean, but I think it's a good investment. And that's the crazy thing about growing on a platform like this and growing in business is, I mean, the reality is you have to spend money, or you just keep writing those checks bigger and bigger and bigger to Uncle Sam. And that hurts.
I don't like it.
That hurts.
I don't like it.
So maybe that kind of helps explain some of the evolution of where we came from content-wise, why we're not just solely doing garden videos and just solely just fishing and hunting videos.
Well, that would just be so boring. Not only for us, but for you guys. And I know there's some of you that love gardening, but there are other strict gardening channels, you know. But for us and for our family, it would just, I think YouTube would go away for us because that's not going to keep us.
I think it would go away because we would get bored with it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I would get bored making the content, and when I get bored with the content, then it doesn't have the same energy, I don't feel like. So then the viewers are going to see that lack of, like, I'm just going through the motions, and I don't want that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
If it takes me going out and buying a skid steer and a brush cutter and going and just destroying cedar trees to make me happy, I'm willing to do that for you guys.
Really?
I did it.
I know.
I did it. Which will come back around. So, I said hunting season's kind of starting to wind down. Houston and I are actually we're going to be out of town for a few days. Well, by the time you guys see this, we'll be headed back home. But we're going to do a little duck hunting and some deer hunting with Jeff, the owner of Crappie Magnet. And, but anyways, deer season's kind of winding down, which takes us into the cold, miserable winter months. But I still have a lot of plans on my neighbor's place that I leased. We did all the 2024 work and got paid for that through the NRCS. So we're coming up on 2025. We've got a lot more work to do on that place. And I can't wait to get back in the skid steer. Equipment's just so much fun to me. I'm just like, they're just big kid toys, okay? It is what it is. But I can see progress. It takes me back to like when I was a trooper and I was growing a garden. Even before YouTube content, I grew a garden because it was like my stress reliever, and I could see my results. Being in law enforcement, you got to work your tail off all day long, come home, and there's no results. There's no, well, I mean, there could be gratification. If you took a drunk driver off the streets that you thought was going to, there can be gratification, but it's hard to quantify your results. Growing a garden, that's what got me into growing a garden, honestly, guys, it was my stress reliever away from work, and I could grow a whole bushel of tomatoes, and I could take them to my wife and be like, look what I did. I'm a man.
I don't even like tomatoes.
But I could grow them, and I could give them away, and I could sell them.
Yeah.
Anyways, I could quantify my results, and that's what the equipment stuff does for me now. Getting on that skid steer or the Cotto excavator and doing work, I can see the results. Like we're fitting to start a pond. I've been saying that for 2 months. I'm waiting right now today on the bulldozer to show up. They're delivering the bulldozer today, so we're starting on the pond next week. Like, I can't write it in stone, but we're starting the pond build. And there will be...
I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
I know, right?
I didn't even know this.
I don't tell DJ all of my business plans. Anyways, so that will be a change in content, is what I'm getting at. So we're going to kind of roll out of deer season. We got all the merch stuff, all the merch building stuff. And by the time we bore you guys to death with all of our merch building stuff, we're going to roll into winter, miserable cold months. And luckily I have equipment with a cab that has a heater. See the plan there? And so we'll be doing more equipment stuff. I got to get back on the cedar tree death streak. I hate cedar trees, in case anybody didn't know. They're horrible. And we're going to do some pond building and some equipment stuff. I have some plans at Mill Creek. I need to put in some more roads and trails so that we can do some more prescribed burning over there. And lots of plans. What are your plans for 2025? Now that 2024...
Heat. Enjoying the heat. Outside. That's what I'm going to enjoy.
DJ,
sunshine.
Listen. It is not bikini season. You need to just...
I didn't say that. I just need
chill.
Heat and sunshine.
Just chill. You don't need the vitamin D from the sun's rays now.
Yes, I do. It's depressing. You agree. Winter is just... And you have to stay in because it's so cold. And I do. I try to.
I don't stay in.
I don't like to go out. And the fact that we don't have any basketball this season. I mean, we'll go to some games, but since Emily's not able to play, that doesn't require me to leave the house 47 times a week. So I'm going to be miserable at home, I guess. That sounds terrible. That's not what I mean. But,
Speaking of being miserable at home, everybody wants to know how Emily's doing. Why don't you give them an update on Emily? I say miserable at home because she's a teenager and she doesn't like to be at home. So
she's not miserable, and she doesn't make us miserable. She is really great.
You're such a suck up.
She's not going to see this.
We're only 30 minutes into a video. Why wouldn't she see this?
She will not see this. And I don't want to hear it. You are ridiculous with her. So anyway, she is doing really good. We had our follow-up appointment, and I don't know, a month ago. And they re-x-rayed her, and her bar is still in place where it's supposed to be. Emily's still feeling some weirdness, feeling coming back.
I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah. It's weird that you can actually feel where the bar is. Like on the outside of her skin, you can feel it.
I mean, most of the bar's inside her rib cage, but where it's connected to the ribs, there's a bracket that you can feel on her side. Yeah. It's really strange.
It is strange. But she's doing really good. She probably does more than she should. She's still on restrictions. I think she's up to, she can lift 10 pounds now, but that's it. We've got baby steps until she's fully released. Like, I think we go back to the doctor January or February. So
cool.
She's good.
So do you want to know my 2025 plans?
You're going to tell us.
I haven't written anything down. I don't have a direct plan, but what I see coming through the windows of our future. If by chance we do purchase a lake house property, the Airbnb side of things, I'm excited to learn that. I'm excited. Yes, we may use it. We may go to the lake and hang out and do all that stuff, but I'm excited to figure that out. Like to watch my wife figure that out, the schedule and all that stuff, and getting it all set up and all that. Like I want to do some projects with that, but also it's at Lake Texoma, which is a very well-known lake for striper fishing, amongst other things. And we may or may not have bought a bass boat in 2024 that may or may not have started a problem with Houston in bass fishing. And he's really, really, really addicted to bass fishing, like scary addicted. And he's wanted to do some more tournaments. We fished a few tournaments, like a local jackpot, but there's like a kind of a local tournament trail. It's just small bass club, and Houston's wanting to join that. They fish. It's like from February through, I don't even know when the championship is. I told him I don't want to fish bass tournaments in February. But I got two uncles that fish in that club, and they bounce around to several different lakes. So I could see us signing up in the bass club and doing some tournament fishing, but doing a lot of fishing at Lake Texoma. If we have a place to stay down there, and I could invite some other content creators in, and we could all do some bass fishing, some crappie fishing, some striper fishing. I want to get to know some striper guides down there so that if our subscribers want to come stay in our house, we could have a book of what to do type things, and have, you know, some reputable striper guides where people could book a trip. And like, I don't know, it's interesting to me. That's one of my plans, hopeful plans for 2025. I know with Houston we're going to be fishing, period, but I'm going to explore some other areas there.
I just want to go to the beach.
DJ still wants to buy a beach house.
Well, I'm getting closer.
We're not there yet. So
if we get a lake house, there's beaches there.
DJ has always had like this idea board in our bedroom. There's not a lot on it right now, but she'll like cut out pictures or have ideas, you know, like goals. It's not really a strict goal board, but at the top of this board, what's the top picture at the top of that board?
A beach house.
A beach house.
In Pensacola.
On Pensacola Beach. Listen, we're not there yet, but this is what's cool about self-employed and business. And I don't know, like Jimmy Houston told me a story one time, a couple of years ago, when Jimmy and I got to be pretty good friends, and Houston wanted to go down there fishing every day of the week. Jimmy lives on and owns a very large ranch. He's been on TV. He's been a spokesman for Bass Pro for 50 years. I mean, everybody knows Jimmy Houston. But Jimmy, I'm like, how did you, like, tell me the story behind this ranch. It's like a couple thousand acres, and he's got 2 large private lakes. One's 150 acres. That's a huge privately owned lake. And so Jimmy's like, well, I didn't just go out and buy this place. He said it's taken 30 years to get there. And, you know, they bought a small piece of property and you know, hunted on it, fished on it, and over the years bought and sold different pieces of property. And he would buy into a ranch somewhere in, you know, 8 or 10 years, sell it for a profit, and put it into another one. And just over time, he just kept stepping up into bigger ranches, I guess. And I don't know how many steps there were. Obviously, it's a 50-year career. But, you know, when we're buying assets to, I don't know, work towards our future goals in life, it doesn't matter if it's a house in town that your grandma lives in, or 80 acres that we're hunting on at Mill Creek that we're making better, increasing the value of, or a small lake house at Lake Texoma. I feel like all of these steps are steps that DJ and I are taking to get to that ultimate goal at the top. You know, 3 or 4 years ago, we went and looked at condos on the beach in Pensacola, and we were like, we could do this. No, we weren't ready. We weren't there yet.
We weren't ready, but since then, prices have gone astronomically high. So that also delays.
Well, I mean, the real truth is, exact condos that we looked at that were $300,000 are now $600,000. So had we bought a $300,000 condo, it would have already, I mean, a lot of them already doubled in value.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a business journey that you guys are on with us, not a gardening journey. I feel like.
A business family journey.
Yeah.
Family business journey.
Arms family business journey. AFBJ.
Oh,
let's not call it
no.
that. No, we're not going to call it that.
No, not going to call it that.
Not going to call it that. We'll just stay with Arms Family Homestead. And people can gripe at me because they're like, this is not a homestead channel.
Well, just saying, I didn't want to name the channel that. I just wanted it to be Arms Family.
No, you wanted me to call it Boone's Farm.
Well, I did. That's true.
Because Boone is a nickname that I've had my entire life. But Boone's Farm is gas station wine. I don't know if they have that where you guys are at, but it's not even really wine. It's like juice with a little bit of alcohol in it. And it's cheap, nasty stuff that everybody, when I was a kid, that's what all the teenagers drank, was Boone's Farm, because it came in a big old wine bottle. And I was like, I'm not naming my YouTube channel after the nastiest stuff that's ever been sold in the gas station.
That's not what it was named after. It was just, it was catchy.
Let's just say the name was trademarked. We'll call it that. I don't know.
Well, it was, but still.
Yeah, no. We're still Arms Family Homestead.
Sometimes I think we could drop that.
Arms Family I don't want to drop it. Like we're ingrained in that. We've already got it on hats. We can't change it. Sorry.
We can do what we want.
Arms family.
We could name it something catchy minus the Homestead name.
Arms family catchy stuff. Arms family, we do everything, whenever, wherever, with no rhyme or reason. That's a long name. Arms family randomness.
Oh, geez, no.
AFR. Okay, well, We're rambling. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if we'll bring this whole podcast series idea back, but it's kind of fun to sit around and talk. And sometimes we get into serious subjects and DJ cries and they get these big old tears in the thumbnail and it gets a lot of views.
You didn't bring up anything super emotional today. I was waiting for it.
How much do you love me?
That usually brings an eye roll, not an eye tear.
All right, fine. Guys, I don't know. You know, I don't know what all else 2025 will bring, but we hope you guys are with us on the journey. We hope you guys stick along with us, and we'll try to make things fun and interesting and just show you guys who we are, because that's what we do. And then we copy cameraman Ron's phrase at the end of our videos. I don't think some people even know where that came from, but that's cameraman Ron's a good friend of ours. Anyways, guys, remember, he always said, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know. It just might change the world.
Do your best.
Do your best. That's wrong channel. See you on the next video.